Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new patch for Age of Empires 2. It's actually launched yesterday, December 11th. Currently it's December 12th, and I plan to release this video as soon as possible here. And it's a pretty big patch, a lot of changes. They fixed pathing, and I actually tested it, and it feels really good. At least for the range units, they don't regroup anymore, so they feel fixed. Melee unit pathing still feels, decent, but not, perfect. So it feels overall good to play at least. Let's take a look at some of the changes that they made. So as you can see, it's a little overview. We're going to go through it rather quickly, and I'll leave a link to the patch notes down below if you guys want to do a thorough or extensive reading. And I'll be reading it for you guys today and just giving you guys my thoughts on the new changes and all that. So first off, they have the new scenario, which is Mangadai Madness. This is from the Gamer Legion guys, which is super cool. Ooh, new animated player icons. So player icons that are now going to be moving. It sounds pretty good. You can customize your player's icons with glorious new animated options, and it's cosmetic DLC packs from Steam. This is really interesting. So they basically released cosmetics or skins, and I think there's like a skin for your units, and they have animated icons, and you have to pay for them, I believe. A lot of people think this is bad, or at least not a lot of people. I've seen a few people think this is bad. Because they say how it's microtransactions, it has a bad reputation, it's a slippery slope, but I don't agree with any of those statements. So microtransactions are only bad when they affect the gameplay, when it becomes pay to win. If it's pay to look cool, that is perfectly fine. There's no problem with paying to look cool. So what I would say is, as long as they keep it in check and stick to cosmetics only, or like cool features outside the gameplay, they can add as many as they want, and if you want it, you pay for it. If you don't want it, your experience is the same. I think that's very cool. Okay, let's take a look at the game now. So stability and performance, they fixed a number of crashes. I'm not going to go through that too much. Graphics, units standing behind mule cart now display outlines. That's pretty good. I like that. Fix an issue with snow trails. Okay, and that's not a big deal. Okay, this is cool. So actually, first audio, fix an issue where Gaia attack notifications would not play on custom maps. That was really important for tournaments. And fix an issue where gunshots from a Persian castle with citadels could be heard from too far away. Very nice as well. So the UI, quality of life. The option extended unit stats was added to the interface settings. Toggling the setting on will make the command panel show additional stats when selecting a unit or building. The following statistics will be displayed when relevant to the unit: reload time, movement speed, blast radius, regeneration rates, work rates, nearby enhancement, how many units are benefiting from the selected unit's aura. Very cool. The attack icon will display an arrow if the selected unit or building deals pierce damage, and if the unit has minimum range, the range will be displayed as maximum range / minimum range. Very, very nice. This is amazing. I'm going to be using this myself. I already know most of these just because I play so much and I've been around Age of Empires for so long. But for newer players, this is going to be extremely valuable to understand how the unit actually works. And you don't just have to watch Spear of the Lost videos to understand the hidden bonuses and the hidden stats. Now you just have them visible to you at all times, which I think is fantastic. You still watch Spear of the Lost videos because he's the GOAT, but more for enjoyment rather than actually learning the basics. Hovering over the selected unit's icon in the command panel will now display the unit's training description if it exists. Very good. Keep technology, watchtower, guard tower, stonewall, pavilion A buildings now have unique icons. Okay. I don't really care too much about these. Yeah, this is completely fine. Settings, fix an issue where the safe delete pop-up would only trigger if the last unit a player selected was a hero. I don't really care about these too much. They fixed the hotkey with two-man saw. That was a problem. All good. Xbox gonna skim through that. Again, you guys can take a look at that with the link in description if you're interested. Gameplay. Okay, this is where I like. So general. Gates can now be locked before their construction is finished. Huge. Amazing. This is great. Adds more strategic elements to the game. Gives players more control. Big fan. Deer and other prey animals now have more consistency in how long they pause before moving again. This is pretty good. I think it's going to make deer learn consistent. It's not going to make the deer run back randomly. So in theory, this sounds really good. Monks now instantly search for new healing targets instead of waiting for 3 seconds. That is great. I'm not sure why they were waiting for 3 seconds, but I definitely noticed that. In fact, I found myself manually tasking my monk to heal my units because they'd just be standing there doing nothing. So that's great. Mule carts can no longer be visible in Fog of War. Amazing. A bunch of fixes. I don't know if I'm going to go through all of these. I'll probably skip this section. But if you guys want to take a look at them, again, feel free. I'll glance over them briefly. Campaign stuff we're going to skip, although I do like campaigns. Heard they're very good. Balance changes. This is where I come in. I'm the balance change guy. Okay. So balance changes. Let's take a look at this. General monk conversion consistency. Monk conversion chance is 25% to 40%. So they increased it in the interval of 4 to 9. Or from the interval of 4 to 9, they made it 5 to 9. Okay. Interesting. So instead of a four minimum seconds, 10 maximum seconds, we now have 5 and 9. So more consistent conversions. So previously, 40% of conversions would happen at either 4 seconds or 10 seconds, creating highly volatile and RNG-dependent interactions. With these changes, 80% of conversions will happen between 5 and 7 seconds. Interesting. So you're basically more consistent conversions. You're never going to get instant conversion, and you're never going to get the long, my monk never converts. So that sounds good on paper. Below are some of the ancillary changes. Here, the average conversion time remains unchanged compared to before, but now with the more consistent conversion behavior. So scout resistance set to +3 minimum conversion time, +1 maximum conversion time, and +2 conversion resistance. Okay, I don't know what this means. Ships resistance set to +2 min, +2 max. Ah, I didn't know the ships have resistance. Good. Tutor's resistance set to +3 minimum, +1 max. Same for Bengali elephants. And First Crusade is +4/+4. Wow, that's really strong actually for the Sicilians. Sicilians, like anti-monk. Okay, and they also made a new technology available called the Devotion. And it's a new tech in Castle Age. It costs 100 food and 150 gold, and it says unit conversion resistance set to +1 minimum, +1 max. So units are 15% harder for monks, for enemy monks to convert. So with this, with getting Devotion, you're now at 610, and then before we were at 410. So when you have Devotion, you could get those my monk never converts enemy units situation if your enemy has Devotion, and you're never gonna get an instant conversion, not even close, against Devotion. So it seems like a pretty good anti-monk technology. And then they made Faith lower, and Faith is +4/+4. So the combination of Devotion plus Faith is equivalent to the previous version of Faith. Okay, so they nerfed Faith, but lowered the cost and added Devotion. Combined, it's the same as original Faith. Okay. So let me give my thoughts on the monk changes. So I was obviously a big voice in nerfing monks, and I feel like this is okay. This is a good change, but it will require testing. So it looks good on paper, but I have a problem. Last patch, we nerfed Redemption. We made it so you can't switch from a building to a unit. Now this patch, we're nerfing them as far as the conversion time. I feel, and this is what I feared actually, that we might have over-nerfed them. Now they might be very useless. Also, I feel like with the Devotion tech especially, maybe monks are just too easy to deal with in Castle Age if the guy is monk rushing. So I feel like we went from like monks are broken to monks potentially are useless right now. I'm not sure. It's going to require a lot of testing. I still think monks will be used to get relics to heal. Like healing is still really strong. Converting is still going to be possible, right? It's still like the average time is the same, right? So converting is still going to be really good. It's going to lower a lot of the frustration with monks, I feel. But we'll see. It's going to require a lot of testing here. We'll see how it's gonna be. Also, I do worry about Devotion being a little too cheap, but we'll see about that as well. All this requires testing. I work with feeling, but monks were broken before, so I do like change, but I don't want it to be pushed over the edge where monks are useless. So that's my take right now. Then we have Dromans. Droman projectile attack rebalance to deal equal damage with all individual projectiles instead of full damage on a main projectile with mostly cosmetic secondary projectiles. Okay. I don't really know what that means, but total damage against buildings is kept... Oh, I know what it means. I don't know how it means in practice. Total damage against buildings is kept unchanged. Damage against units and ships is reduced by around 20%. Okay, that's good. So making it a little weaker against ships and units. So the damage was reduced from 50 to 8. Okay. Bonus damage versus buildings reduced from 135 to 34. But of course, it's multiple projectiles. Bonus damage versus siege reduced from 20 to 2. Okay, again, this will require testing from me. Bonus damage versus castles increased. Bonus damage versus walls increased. Increased projectile spread area. Okay. And they increased the training time. This is good because before you don't need chemistry, so you just make them right away. If they increase the training time, you make them right away, but it's not as strong. It's not as snowbally. That's a good change. I like the nerfs overall, but will require testing. Siege Engineers properly increases petard bonus damage versus castles and walls. Okay, let's go petard enjoyers. Cavalier upgrade time reduced from 100 seconds to 80 seconds. Very good change. Cavalier took forever to research, and I feel like it's what made Arbalest Halb so powerful against knight units. The only thing is, it's like we nerfed Arbalest, then we buffed skirms against Halbs, then we buffed Cavalier. It's like I feel like we're trending towards a Cav meta. So this is a good change, but I worry about archers in some way. I don't know. We'll see. I think Cavalier is not a really powerful upgrade to take forever. This is a huge buff to Burgundians, by the way. Mule carts are now targeted with lower priority than units, same as other buildings. And mule carts are now... Oh, that's really good, yeah. So you can't tank with mule carts anymore, which is amazing. Mule cart costs 100 wood and 20 food instead of 80 wood and 20 food. Oh, no, now it's 80 wood, 20 food. Okay. So it's a buff to mule carts. Good, that's pretty good. I like that. I feel like they were a bit too expensive before. Armenians, galley line fires. So that was the generic changes. Now it's civ-specific ones. Armenians, galley line fires 2 projectiles. Civilization bonus change to galley line and Dromans fire an additional projectile. Oh, okay. That's fair enough. So buff to Dromans, but they got nerfed above. Galley line, a secondary projectile change to always be an arrow for better readability of the bonus. Oh, that's weird. So like a galleon will shoot an arrow and that little like ballista bolt. That's a bit weird. Okay. Warrior Priest with Relic no longer incorrectly receives extra line of sight from block printing technology. Fair enough. Mule cart technology bonus increased from 25% to 40%. This is huge for Armenians. Wow, that is huge. They lost access to two-man saw, but this is still a net positive because you don't need to research it, so you save resources on this. I'd say that's pretty huge, especially in Castle Age. I mean, Armenians are going to be insane on water. They're going to be the best civ on water, hands down. Sicilian fleets, demolition ship radius improvements reduced from plus 33% to 20%. So they nerfed their demos. Okay. That was needed. They were too strong. Okay, I like that. Moving on to Bengalis. Bengalis, elite Ratha Cav Archer armor increased from 0 to 1. Ratha now deals 20% trample damage in melee mode. That is crazy. Wow. That's going to help them deal with mass skirms for sure. Ratha getting buffed. I still think the problem with Ratha is not their stats. It's just the fact that they feel really clunky to use between melee and ranged. So I feel like it's a little clunky. But overall, I would say this buff is going to be huge for them. So what are they going to be fun to use? Probably not. They're still going to be clunky. Will they be strong? Maybe in the right situation. All right, Bohemians. Hussite Wagon HP reduced from 180 to 160. Finally, this is needed. Hussite Wagon is completely broken. Main projectile damage reduced from 11 to 10. That was also needed. And elite and regular Hussite Wagon train time increased from 21 to 26 seconds. These are all really good. There were so many gimmicky strats. I think like the white phosphorus guy was doing it and climbed a lot of elo using it. Where you just go fast castle with Bohemians, drop a castle and go full Hussite Wagon. And like some civs without redemption just can't deal with it. It's very hard to deal with it. So I feel like Bohemians didn't really need Hussite Wagon to begin with. It didn't need it to be like a very strong unit. Now that it is, I'm happy it's getting nerfed. Listen, it's still going to be strong. I'm sure of it. It's still going to be a strong unit. For civs that don't have redemption, it's going to be a nightmare to deal with this unit. But I think Mangonels will just hard counter it a little bit more. Or not hard counter, but counter it a bit more. They'll now two-shot them consistently, which is good. Yeah, I'm still not a fan of this unit. It's too much raw power for a civilization that already has such a good economy for 1TC pushes. Anyway. Chinese town center civilization bonus increased from plus 10 population space and plus 5 line of sight to plus 15 population space and plus 7 line of sight. This is so interesting. Basically, they're making the Chinese start even better, and they make their town centers even better later on. This is hoping, I'm sure of it, they're hoping to make Chinese easier to play at lower levels. So Chinese got nerfed before. Now they're getting a small buff to help their early game. This will be really strong for everyone. This is going to make the lower levels have a good time with their starts, and this will make pros do some super tight build to gain the maximum amount of this. I like the +7 line of sight as well. I feel like that's going to help a lot in the mid game where you just drop some town centers and you see your opponent coming. So Chinese going to be pretty strong. I feel next patch, or this patch. It's already live. Georgians buildings cost 50% fewer resources to repair. It's now been made 25%. Okay. And Elite Manaspa no longer incorrectly receive extra damage against buildings. Okay, very good. So they fixed Manaspas and they reduced the repair bonus to 25% instead of 50%, which is good. Good changes. Hindustani, villager discount civilization bonus increased from 5, 10, 15, 20 to 8, 13, 18, 23. Very ugly numbers. I don't like this. I would have much rather it be like 6, 12, 18, 24 or something like that. These numbers don't look right. Starting at 8 and then adding 5 each time feels really weird. Yeah, those numbers don't really sit too well with me. But it is somewhat of a buff to them. I honestly don't feel like they really needed it, by the way. I feel like Hindustani were an okay civ. Obviously neglected, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah. They could have just made it 10, 10, 20, 20, says someone in the chat, which could have been fine as well, yeah. Or just 10, 15, 20 and cap it in Castle Age. So you get 20 starting in Castle, but not more in Imp. That would have been fine as well. Anyways, it's fine. Huns, Tarkin base movement speed increased from 135 to 1.4. That's good. Tarkins were not really seeing too much play. Huns now start with a unique scouting horse on Nomad style maps once their starting town center is completed. This is really interesting. So I've already seen a game with this. Huns were really bad on Nomad because the -100 would really hurt you in setting up your dock. Now you get an extra horse or a scouting horse. This is really annoying. I don't like this change because that horse, you think, oh, it's going to be used to scout. It's going to help Huns on Nomad. No, it's going to be used to lame your opponents, steal their sheep, block their villas when they lure boars, see where all the opponents are so you can coordinate castle drops. Basically, Huns become a sacrificial nomad civ where the guy with Huns runs around with a horse, laming everything, gets all the information for his team, and just bothers everyone pretty much the whole game with that horse. It's not broken. It's not going to be great. It's just going to be annoying. I don't like the change. Some people might. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, if it's my horse, I can probably kill a few vills with it as well. If you know, you know. Incas, military units, food discount reduced from 15, 20, 25, 30 to 10, 15, 20, 25. Very good nerf. Much needed. Incas were broken. Kamyuk, food cost was reduced a little bit to compensate. Fair enough. Japanese, civilization bonus adjusted to cav archers +2 versus archers, except skirmishers. Very much needed. Japanese CA countering skirms was disgusting. That was so stupid. So I'm happy they corrected that. Koreans, turtle ship receives extra attack ground ability. Oh, okay. You can attack ground with a turtle ship. That doesn't matter because they had built-in ballistics, so that's not very good, but I guess that is what it is. Persians, Savar bonus damage with archers reduced from 3 to 2. Good. Savar upgrade research time increased from 150 to 160. Good. And oh, nice. They removed the 5 gold per kill. Amazing. That bonus should go to another civ entirely. So my thoughts about this: Persians are still going to be good at what they do. They still have their Dark Age bonus, so they're still going to be, very strong on those hybrid maps and decent on like Arabian land maps. But they're not going to be broken. Savar is still really strong, so I think they're going to be like maybe even still S tier on a lot of maps, but not like S+ tier. Poles, full wood cost reduced from 125 wood to 100 wood. Amazing. That's such a good change. That might be my favorite change. Helps Poles a bit out in the early game. Not a huge change for their late game, which they're already strong at. I like it. Portuguese, elite organ gun damage decreased from 7 to 9 to 6, 8. Okay. Elite organ gun bonus damage with infantry and skirmishers increased from 1 to 2. Okay, so they lowered the attack overall, but gave them bonus damage with infantry and skirm, which is what they're meant to counter. So they stay the same against infantry skirm, but they're less effective against everything else, which is actually good. They were really broken, so I'm happy to see that. And then Vikings, defeating warrior priests with infantry units now correctly generates a gold reward when chieftains is researched. That's fine. And that's going to be pretty much it for the patch review. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you guys think about the patch notes and what you guys think of the new patch in general, pathing and other things. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. Peace.